Well, hello there, Apple Bites. This is your Apple Bite written Ralph talking to you straight from our show here, Apple Bites, where we take a bite out of the apple and share it with you. Today we're hanging out with Danielle and Paul, and we're about to have fun, get geeky, and talk about a bunch of different things. So right off the bat, did you guys see the video? Because I got nothing over here.
Yes, I saw it. It was good. I got to see it on two screens, actually. It was two different spots.
Yeah, we're all good, Raael. Don't worry about it.
That was so weird because my computer is like, no, man, we're not showing it to you. I'm like, what do you mean you're not showing it to me?
Yes, I saw it. It was good.
All right, cool. Okay. As long as you guys saw it, as long as the public saw it, we're good. We're good. Oh, man, I got to say, this is the first weekend, Paul, that we've actually had nothing to do.
I know. It's like it was quiet.
Yeah, everything was like away. MegaCon, Frank was out there. There was a conventions close by, but we just weren't there.
No. When is Bix coming up? That's coming up soon, isn't it?
Bix is in April.
Right.
Which is the Brooklyn Independent Comic Showcase. And I think that's our next big one. But April kicks off everything. I think we are, there's like a couple of small ones coming up, but we're not doing anything till April.
Yeah, I think Bix will be the one I go out to in Brooklyn if I don't have a conflict. So we'll see what happens.
What's an industry city, and it's a blast. You know, again, I love conventions or things where the location plays a character in the event.
Well, not only that, but it's really a great showcase for all these independent creators. I mean, it's just not comic books, it's writers. It's really phenomenal. I just couldn't. It's definitely a 2-day event because there's just so much talent that's there. So it's really a great event.
Love it. It's a Brooklyn Independent Comic Showcase. And we have a lot of friends that are going to be there. So it's going to be an interesting event. We're going to be doing a special Bix show the week of Bix. So, you know, just get your mouth watering and your appetites going.
That sounds like fun.
It's a blast. It's a true indie comic showcase because you know, a lot of comic book shows or comic cons call themselves indie, but very few of them have a lot of indie stuff.
It's true. It's true.
And it's funny because indie is the place to be now. You know, you know this. You do a lot of indie filmmaking, and we do a lot of indie stuff as it is. You know, that's one of the reasons I love Urban Action Showcase is because we get to go hang out, see all this beautiful kung fu indie stuff and some other action indie stuff.
Yes.
And I gotta say, right now everybody's a little sad because, of course, we lost our big kung fu guy.
I know. I mean, I feel like this year has been hit after hit after hit in this industry, and I really needed to slow down. It's only March, so.
Yeah, 2026. We've already lost a lot of people for, you know, and it's only freaking March. Yeah, you're right.
Right. It's like, come on, slow it down just a tiny bit. Like I can barely catch my breath.
I gotta say, Brendan from Buffy, that caught me completely by surprise.
Yeah,
I didn't see that coming at all.
And the young lady from iZombie too.
I didn't find that out till today.
Yeah, I mean it was only yesterday, but still, yeah.
Yeah, but
are you referring to Chuck Norris as well?
Yes, Chuck Norris. Unfortunately,
yeah, I met him in another life when I was doing an independent magazine, if you can believe it. I think Indie's in my blood, but we were doing film reviews, and I can't remember the name of something in the Giant. And this guy was, you know, Chuck Norris played a cop, and I actually met him. We were interviewing him for the magazine. It's really cool, and was a great guy. You know, you could tell he was down to earth and just really someone you like to get to know better. You know, it's really cool.
Yeah.
Yep.
Everyone that I know that knows him, because I mean, you know, my world is somewhat in the martial arts bubble, and so every person that I know that knows him has always said that he's just like a kind, sweet, like gentle man that like you just kind of want to hang out with, you know.
Yep.
So
totally there with you, Danielle. Yep, agree.
That's all I've heard about him myself as well. Is you know, oh, he's a great guy, you know, and you know, it's funny because you know, in this industry, you hear things, so you're like, okay, and then you know, sometimes you hear like, oh, that guy, yes, you know, they won't say it publicly, but behind the scenes, you're like, oh, okay, I gotta keep that in mind.
Yes, I mean I've heard those conversations, but not about him.
Exactly. Yeah. Yeah. I've just heard good things about him. Some people get upset with his conservative takes on things, but eh.
I mean, there's a piece of it that's to each their own, right? In the
Yeah.
sense of like
Exactly.
we all still respect and appreciate his work and all
Mhm.
the things he did. So
It's okay to have a difference of opinion. I mean, everyone thinks differently. If everyone thought the same, you know how boring this place would be.
oh my gosh, it'd be so boring.
I always think it's funny because geeks fight all the time. Geeks are constantly fighting.
Well, that's
Who's
because everybody's got a
better,
different
Superman
opinion.
or Goku? Who's and they have those deep fights, man. They get angry at each other.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
What's this Peter Parker falling in love with Mary Jane? He fell in love with Gwen Stacy. What's the problem?
See, that's the other fight. No,
Oh
he should
gosh,
be in love
yeah.
with Gwen. No, he should be in love with Mary Jane.
Oh, go figure.
And then
See, we almost went off a tangent there, Danielle. I told you it doesn't take much.
No, it's okay. It's okay.
it goes all the way back because if we're talking about the movie space, it's the same thing, right?
It is.
People get passionate about their movies.
Well, I mean, it's funny because it kind of all goes together, right? So all the action hero movies are generally based off of most graphic novels and things like that. So for me, being on the other side where I'm in the film side of it, I go and read the graphic novels because I want to know why everybody's fighting and I want to understand like what the story is. They're like, wait, who is this person? Why do I need to care about them? So then I'm like the reverse fan, right? Like
I gotta say, like one of the things that upsets me the most about the industry itself, and I know we've talked about this on the show before. It's that whole concept of if you're doing like one of these productions, they these big wigs don't want you to go read the comic. They don't want you to go to check out the stuff. And you're like, dude, it's the source material.
Yeah, it's the original source. Why not check it out? You can pull from it.
Because they're like, we're doing our version of it, and that's what it is.
Okay, you do your version, but I still need to understand.
Exactly. But it's so funny because anytime that they don't listen, the actors don't listen to the big wigs, though they do a better job, even if they're not following the source, of being the character because they have a better understanding of who the character is.
Exactly. There's a deeper understanding and meaning of the backstory and where the concept comes from and things like that. Yeah.
I don't know, man. It just bugs me out, and a lot of the times I just feel like they're so wrapped up, and it's the whole industry. They're so wrapped up in doing whatever they want to do, and self-important on what they're doing that they don't seem to care about the source material.
Yeah, no, I agree. I mean, even outside of the world of comics or anything, you can look at even like the recent film of Wuthering Heights. Like that film is not the book at all. Like I've read the book, that film is not the book. Like totally different, same names, but that's pretty much it. Like there's a lot of stories out there like that too. So I don't know. Each their own, I guess.
I get you. Because our pal Michael Oden has been bitching and complaining about the Odyssey because they're like, oh my God, have you seen what they've done with the Odyssey?
Oh God, well,
material and changing things.
I just got upset over watching Cleopatra on Netflix, so it's like that's why they call it a docudrama. They should really say docudrama.
Yeah,
yeah.
It's like there's no documentary aspect here aside from the people and the names that they're using. That's about it.
Yeah, I think they have to be careful. They're getting a little too deep into the weeds with using some of those terms so loosely, I think.
Yeah.
Because half the time, it has even nothing to do with the source material. It has nothing to do with it's a whole other project. It's turned into something else, and it always bothers me when they're like, oh, you're calling it the Odyssey, but it's not the Odyssey.
Yes. Yeah. I mean, we're gonna see. I guess we're gonna see what happens, right? But we'll all show up and see. That's the other piece. Is like now everybody's still gonna go and see it because they want to know. So they still have the draw. They still think they've got the fans.
Oh, definitely. We're gonna have Michael Oden on, and he's gonna be telling us why exactly, because he's a big history buff. All this is wrong.
Well,
I wait till it comes on streaming service. I can wait. I don't want to pay for it. Sorry, I'm cheap that way.
I mean, from being in the industry, I definitely still like, there's certain things I'm like, okay, I will buckle down. I'll pay the $25 or whatever to go see it in theaters because it's meant to be seen in theaters. You know, some stuff I'm like, I can wait for that stream. But there's other things where I'm just like a big film like that. I feel like you kind of have to see it in theaters to get the full effect of it all. But
I always tell people that I saw Die Hard in theaters.
Okay.
And then I saw it on TV.
It's totally different, right?
No, you have to watch Die Hard in the theater. It's a whole different movie. It's a whole different thing.
It is. It's a whole different movie. Yeah.
I don't mean to go off another tangent here, but what I used to do with my kids growing up, the first time I saw Star Wars outside of the theater on a big screen, I got the projector, I got the speakers, and I got my laptop, and I put it on the garage. It was awesome.
Yes.
It's like,
it's still a big screen
of Star Wars and Lord of the Rings. It was awesome. Yeah, it's like it's great.
But that's the way to do it, and it's funny that you're saying that because before that's what would happen. Somebody would get one of the reels and show it off somewhere else, but you still would get that movie experience because it was still showing in a bigger screen.
It's like a drive-in.
Yes,
it's really cool.
Yeah.
So Danielle, why don't you tell them who you are? Give them the spiel. Give them all the stuff. Let them know who's talking here. That way they know who you are.
that I can actually sort of kind of know a little bit. I am Danielle Harper. I am a actress, a writer, a producer, and a director. I am yes, that's my Instagram. I am blessed to have spent the early years of my career on stage. I was a professional ballet dancer for 15 years and then transitioned to theater and music theater. And I did a number of off-Broadway plays and shows until my body sort of started to give out and was told I had to find another source to be creative, and found myself in the stunt community in film and television from friends in the industry. And so I transitioned still through the movement bubble, I guess, from dance into stunt work for film and TV. And I did stunts for probably about a year and a half, and then realized that I also already knew how to act. And so I started taking film and television acting classes in the city.
Nice.
And I transitioned fully over to film and television. And then I did about 4-ish years in film and television. I was able to be on I was able to work on a number of shows like Blue Bloods, Madam Secretary, The Following, in small capacities. But I really kind of got my feet wet, did a lot of independent films, did a lot of independent horror films, and still kind of held on to that stunt bubble, was able to do a number of sort of action movies and action TV shows, web series, got to fight with swords a lot, which is always fun. And then I actually decided to stop everything. I fell in love, got married, had 2 beautiful boys, and took about 5.5 years off to raise them. And then, and like literally dead stop, like didn't talk to anyone in the industry, like shut all the doors, got rid of my agent and my manager at the time. Wow. I didn't think I was coming back. And then my very dear husband kind of said to me, sweetie, a part of you is missing. The boys are okay. We can handle it. Go figure out what that is. And so I said, all right, I guess I'll submit. I'll reopen like a backstage account and just see what happens. And so I did. And I ended up with the bit part in a senior thesis film for a woman who's now one of my best friends. And realized I still loved the business, but I wanted to do it on my terms and not the way the industry had been forcing me to do it before. I said, fine, but I want to make my own rules kind of. And so since then I decided to go back in nice and slow. And then the strike happened, and slow was an understatement. I basically went from projects to nothing. And I, said, okay, fine. If the strike is happening and work isn't there, let me create it myself. And so since then I have opened 3 Chicks. I'm one of 3 Chicks in the 3 Chicks Flicks production. So I now own a production company, or a third of a production company.
Nice.
That centers around women in the industry. So we specialize in female-driven films. We have built like a tutoring mentor program, so that if there's women in the industry that want to learn to direct, they want to learn to write, they want to learn to produce, they want any aspect of the industry, they can come to us and work on our sets, and we can teach them and guide them. We offer screenwriting classes, we offer acting classes periodically throughout the summer. And the person that's thesis I was in is actually also one of the 3 chicks as well now. And she also owns America's Epic Film Festival, and I am now the executive director of that film festival.
Whoa.
So
all the weaving and interaction.
Yes, it all intertwines, right? And I've now been the executive director for that festival this will be our 3rd year in May, which is exciting. And so since then, I've just kind of found a way through kind of the grind of it all. I've written and produced in about 3 projects in the last 2.5 years. I still work on the indie circuit. I just wrapped on a film that our friend Shannon, our mutual friend Shannon, is on, Hellbound Covenant, which is a feature film. That'll come out sometime.
On Friday the 13th.
On Friday the 13th. Yes, you saw me in costume. And I'm on a streaming show right now called City of Honor, which is very surreal and exciting, especially because I'm playing it my own way, right? Like I'm finding my own path this time around, and not following the rules, I guess. So I am blessed and honored that I'm on that show. And we actually have a screening this weekend, which is super exciting. And I just did my first female filmmaker fundraiser for women in the industry. We picked 3 female filmmakers to showcase their work. We did some Q&As, and we had a sold out crowd. So that was really exciting. I'm obviously a very big advocate for women in this industry. But at the end of the day, I'm really an actor who loves to put the pieces together.
Right.
So I love directing and writing and producing, but my first love is performing and acting. And so I always appreciate when I get an opportunity to just act. So I love all the other pieces, and I'm very blessed and honored to be producing and directing a number of films in the near future. But my first love is still as an actor, and to tell the story and to bring breath to a character. I'm blessed to say I'm a working actor, and I'm finding my own path and my own way through, and I'm an open book. I'm happy to talk to people, teach them, help them grow, be their cheerleader in the back when you think you're doubting yourself. So
I gotta say, we were supposed to have you for our film topic show a couple of weeks back, but you were like busy at the moment, and you didn't get a chance to come on. And and it's funny because you're hitting all the notes that we were hitting on that show as well. Where it's become an indie world.
It has.
If you want to do something now, you just do it. It's not like before where you needed amazing equipment, you needed all this stuff. Now it's come to a level where you have minimal equipment, you can still make something.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, it's interesting for sure. This time around compared to when I was more mainstream.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, obviously financially, it's a different conversation, mainstream versus indie.
Yeah.
But like I said, I sort of get to play by my own rules in a way. So there's freedom in that, and I'm being able to explore roles that I might not normally. Like in the mainstream industry, I very much become typecast, and in indie industry, I kind of get to play, like in Hellbound, I was playing the role. The character's name was Mary, and she is the wife of a Vietnam vet, and she's very like wholesome and loving and so gentle and kind for the most part. I mean, it was, the 70s were a bit rough, but but I don't often get to play the doting wife. I often am, and some of this is just me, right? But I often am the detective or the lawyer or like the cop or whatever the case is. I play strong women, but not strong as in like strong as a mother, strong as a wife, strong as in like an actual authoritative role. So it was nice to just be somebody's wife and just feel happy and sad and all those things. So it's the indie world does open some doors. Um, I just wrapped on a film this past weekend that actually is going to hit the circuit soon, and that was similar. It's a film that is a little bit of paranormal, little bit of really deep connection to family ties and emotion, and a want and a need to be connected. And it's been kind of fun, to play other things, and then I still get to write my own stuff. And I wrote a movie called We Three, and I'm a witch, so
The fun stuff, man.
yeah, that's fun. And I had all the tattoos and the hair to go with it. So,
But it's funny you're saying that, but it's true though. When it comes to indie stuff, you get to play more, because the industry does tend to go, this is what you are, and that's all you are, even if
yes.
you can play other parts, and it gets kind of annoying.
It does. I mean, don't get me wrong. I actually love being a detective, and I
Mhm.
love being a lawyer. Like, those are definitely my cups of tea for sure. But it also is nice to stretch my legs in other artistic ways as well.
So one of the conversations we were having during the film talk show was Markiplier and what he's done, because it kind of shook up Hollywood.
Hmm.
You're not supposed to be able to succeed without a studio, and
Yeah.
and he's kind of shook everything up. And it's just, I love this moment. I love the fact that we can actually do this. We can go out there, because it wasn't like this before.
No.
Before, you had to go through the system, and if you were in indie, you still had to go through the system, because indie itself had its own system.
Correct. Yep. Yep. Now it's a whole new world in many ways. I was down in Texas in December, and I did an interview on their like local PBS, and my whole sort of spiel, besides my big push for women in the industry, was also like about just green lighting yourself. Like, if you believe your story and you feel that you've got your feet on underneath you and you can go with it, go with it. Like,
Yeah.
the world is literally your oyster. Like, why not see what happens? Because this is the time. When else are you going to get to do this?
I love the fact, and we're talking about it now. Like Urban Action Showcase, it actually has awards for shorts, for
Yes.
doing the short films, and you don't have to have the major camera. You can do it off your phone. The
Hmm.
whole thing is to get it in there and get it done. And it's come to a point now where you can get your little script, you can get your bunch of friends together, who get all the stuff together, and go out there and do it. And it's so funny, because I always look at people, because they're like, well, this and then that. I'm like, dude, just go do it. Just have fun with it.
Yeah.
Because a lot of people even ask me, oh, Ralph, I want to get into podcasting. How do you do it? I'm like, you made your first show. And they
Yeah.
go, what do you mean you make your first show? You got to make your first show. If you don't make your first show, you're not going to know what's right, what's wrong, what's.
Exactly. Yes. Very much so. Yeah. In some ways, it's like trial and error, right? If you
Yeah.
don't take the leap, then you don't know what's going to stick, or throw things at the wall and see what sticks.
Everybody started somewhere. And I feel like what's happening is that people are paralyzing themselves.
Yes.
They've given themselves this workup to what the industry is, to what everything is. And it's not even just indie filmmaking, it's indie comic making, it's all that stuff.
Hmm.
People get into their own heads, and they stop themselves. They become their own worst villains.
Well, they feel they have
Yes.
to be perfect right out of the gate. It's just like, no, I mean, you kidding me? It doesn't. You got to trial and error it. You really do.
You do. And also, I think at the end of the day, life is a world that we should still be learning in, right? Like,
Yeah.
I'm a perpetual learner, and,
Mhm.
I still take acting classes. Like, I still have coaches. I mean, yeah, I'm a working actor, but I still go to class. I still
Yeah.
do the work. I still practice, and I make mistakes. None of it's a perfect world. So,
I also feel like besides the fact that you're doing this with your acting and all this, you're also deciding, well, let's do other things.
mhm.
Let's broaden the horizons. I feel like you're giving yourself opportunities by taking as many opportunities as you can. And I also feel like some people decide that they're going to pigeonhole themselves into one place.
Yes. Yeah, I mean, if you had asked me that 10 years ago, or like said, "Hey, would you ever do this or that?" I'd probably look at you and be like, "Are you crazy?" But now, I'm like I said, I'm a perpetual learner, and maybe it's because I've got kids and I'm watching the world through their eyes in some ways, where I'm like, you know what? Why can't I do that? Or why shouldn't I try? Is it going to be perfect? Maybe, maybe not. I don't know. Like, but if I don't try, then how am I going to know if I like it or not? Like, there's pieces of this industry that I know, and if someone called and said, "Hey, can you come to set and PA?" I can do it, but do I enjoy it? No. Like, I would do it if a friend asked because their friend is asking, but like that's not the job I'm going after. But if someone called and said, "Hey, I want you to direct something," I enjoy directing. I'll direct a movie for you. Like, I've done that. I've done a number of movies, and I've done it enough times to know what works for me, what doesn't work for me, but also know that I'm still learning and that there's plenty for me still to like learn and grow and develop on.
It's funny because what you're saying is you would not have known that you didn't like these things until you did them already.
Yeah.
So now you know, okay, I don't want to do that again.
Right. Or it's like, okay, like you kind of like what you said, you get a bunch of your friends together and make a movie, right? Like, many of my friends still live in that bubble, and it's not quite guerrilla filmmaking. It's like just slightly above whatever that is, and they'll call and say, "Hey, I'm on set. I could use an extra set of hands," and if I can, I will, just because it's friends. But if it's a random person I don't know, chances are I'm going to say no to the roles that I don't enjoy doing.
That makes sense, though. Yeah, right. Friends, you're like, okay, I know why I'm doing this.
Right.
When it's a stranger, I'm like, okay, look, dude, I will help you out, but I don't want to do that.
Right. Yes. I'll do these 5 things, but not that.
Exactly. Oh man, but I love the I've been in it for long enough now. When I got back into it, because I went to school for broadcasting, and then I was gone for a while, and my friend was like, "Dude, you need to come back because that's what your degree's in." I'm like, "I've been gone for 10 years."
Yeah.
And they're like, "Dude, but come on, just jump back in." So she had me jump in and do extra work and do other stuff, and each little bit that I learned and each little bit that I did actually propelled me forward, in the direction that I was going to go. And like you, I finally realized I like this.
Yes.
and if you were asking me this a couple of years ago, I would have been like, no, because I was the camera guy.
Right. Yeah.
I wasn't in front of the camera. And I feel like I understand your journey. Because I was about to ask you about Urban Action Showcase and what led to that, but then as I heard your journey,
the pieces make sense, right?
Like,
yeah.
Oh, okay. So there's all the pieces, and that's how she ends up at Urban Action Showcase.
Yeah. Well, so even more deeply than that, Demetrius was one of my trainers.
Ah, there you go.
Yeah.
It all comes together, folks.
Yes. And he actually connected me with Lamard, who does graphic novels and a lot of like AI, and graphic design stuff. And he wrote a show called Genocide, which we went to Comic-Con to represent.
I love it. And again, we go back to what we were talking about earlier, all these connections, all these things.
Yeah.
And it's funny because people look at all the industries and they try to keep them apart.
But they shouldn't be.
No, because the more I've done this,
yeah,
the more I'm like, it's all freaking connected. Even when you don't think it's connected, it's all connected.
Yeah, no, it is. It totally is. It's so funny because I oddly enough, I do like graphic novels and I have my own little mini collection. And I used to go to Comic-Con when I first moved to New York when I was just a dancer and not like associated with the theater, or I was associated with theater, but not like film and television. And then I stopped going because I couldn't afford it. And then, I ended up in stunts and I ended up working, I was there as talent for shows that were at Comic-Con. And I'm like, this is weird, but like full circle, come back around, and like, it was cool. Yeah. And
it just, people don't know that sometimes people in the cons hire people.
Oh gosh, yeah.
Actresses to do bit roles. because it's pretty
Yep.
much what you're doing.
Well, so the one year I did go as like a bit role, and then the next 2 years after that, I actually was there to like sell the show, right?
Exactly.
Like, the panels and things like that. Like, we were part of the talent panels
Mm-hmm.
and things, and it's just, I don't know, it's just very surreal and very weird when it all comes back in full circle like that.
But nobody thinks about that. Nobody
Yeah.
thinks, these are the people they're hiring because that's what you do sometimes. You need you want to, even sometimes with comic book creators and their tables, they'll hire a cosplayer.
Yes.
It brings the attention. Or they'll hire an actress who bring the attention.
Yep, I was one of those. But it was cool. It was really cool. I met so many cool people. I met like a lot of Walking Dead guys and stuff like that when I was doing Comic-Con, and when they came out with the new Ninja Turtles and the new Power Rangers, like all those shows that came out again after the 90s, I was like, wow, full circle. That was my childhood, and now I'm watching whatever the next generation of it is.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And see, again, there goes those connections again, where people don't think about it, because your nerd and geeky shows, they come from somewhere.
Yes. Yes. And honestly, I will say, like all of my I consider myself a geek, but all of my friends in my bubble that are geeky people, we all are like fans, like deep fans in our own way, and it's like a unique fan, right? And so
Right.
when you find people like that, there's such a deep connection to something and someone, and it's so interesting. And like at the same time, those are the same kinds of fans that you get for television shows. Like the
Exactly.
Walking Dead fans, the TV Walking Dead fans, holy crap. But they're the same kinds of geeky fans as like comic books and all these other things. And it's all the same. It's all transferable. So it's interesting, and I think it's all so much of the same. Like if you can buy into a story, whether it's on paper or on TV, then you're a fan and you're somewhat of a geek because you're going to study that and learn that and know the ins and outs of it. Like, this is how bizarre I am. I'm like a Star Trek fan, like deep, hardcore Star Trek fan, but like the original. And people don't get that. And I'm like, I know that the set was basically cardboard boxes, but like, I don't care. No. It was it. Like, this was it. I will watch it on repeat. Like, and that's it. Like, that's what it is.
It just shows you. It's like, I think that's why people get so upset, right? When they adapt a book that has such a following to a movie, and then they change the whole premise of it.
Yes.
It's like you're belying the whole fan base. It's just like the reason why this is so popular is because the book was so great. And I don't know what it is. They have to change things about it. But, I agree with you, Danielle. I'm a big Star Trek fan since I was a kid. And it's like, yeah, you're right. What made that show was the stories. The stories were unique and they were different. They were original, and that's what really made that whole show.
Absolutely.
It didn't matter else,
See, but again, it's this whole I don't know. I feel like people are always trying to put you into these little boxes.
Yes.
It's not even big boxes. It's little boxes, and because you are who you are, then you're not supposed to like Star Trek.
I'm not, but I do.
Like I'm expected to like all that stuff because look what Ralph does, but then when I start talking, when I start getting
you don't like Star Trek? What, you don't like Star Trek? Wait, what? I drove you to Terrificon. You don't like Star Trek? What?
Oh no, it's usually when I start getting into the nitty gritty of filmmaking.
Okay.
I see.
About one of those films. I go,
okay.
You watched that?
Yeah. Well, I'm with you. I agree. Ralph, I totally understand and agree with what you're saying, where they like people try to put us in boxes, right?
Yeah.
Like, I am the biggest nerd and nobody would put that with me, right? Like, if you look at me and you see what I do, you're like, that doesn't make sense. But it does if you know me. Like, Firefly is just making a real comeback, by the way. Super excited about that.
But like you're saying though, like I've worked with you at Urban Action Showcase, so it makes complete sense to me.
No, it does, because you know me in that setting, right? But like, if you show up and you see me on set and I'm playing a person who's about to die, probably not going to make sense. Like, why I'm a huge like random sci-fi fan, but I think you know, what's interesting is I find that, at least for me, my bubble of things and interests goes, and maybe because I took 6 years off, I don't know. I've just accepted like that's part of who I am and that I have to be okay being that. And you either take it or leave it, right? Like I'm friends with some heavy hitters in the industry and they have been put in a box for sure. And I kind of look at them and I'm like, I love you to death, but I'm not letting people do that to me. You know, like I'm going to do these interviews. Like I'll talk to people, I'll do interviews. Are they going to know me like deep down? Are they going to hang out and get a drink with me after? No. But like, I want people to know that it's okay to be cool and weird and geeky and funny and strange, but then still be able to like show up on TV and be a lawyer and like, you know, I don't know. I want that to be okay.
Yeah. And I completely get you because they're constantly, especially with BittenAppleTV, they're constantly, Ralph, you concentrated on this aspect of geekdom, or that you concentrated on this thing, or you concentrated on that thing. You know, you get more views, it'll be a better show. And I'm like, but that's not me.
Yes.
I like everything. I want to touch everything.
Yeah. It's like ADHD exactly. With all the things, right?
You start doing that crap, I won't be on the show anymore.
Oh, so that's another thing though. Like with the Trekkies and the Warriors, or whatever you call them, the Star people, Star Wars people. You know, they get really deep into their stuff. So
they do.
When I like Trek and I like Star Wars, they're like, "Oh no, you need to pick one."
Oh no, okay. So I'm with you on this. So I'm also a huge Star Wars fan, and normally Trekkies and Star Wars fans are not one and the same. But I am both. But I also have my own reasons for being, right. Like, so that's the other thing. People have to accept that there's reasons behind things. Star Wars has a personal connection. My dad was at the premiere of the original Star Wars movies, and he knew all of the actors involved because of his profession at the time. And so for me, that like immediately connected Star Wars, and then I just fell in love with it.
Connection, yeah.
Right? Like, and I mean, I fell in love with it in the end because my dad had this super cool connection to it. But then I was like, I guess I'll check it out and watch it. And then he brought me to see it in theaters, and I was like, wow, like, you know, whoa. And then at the same time, you know, I became a Trekkie because who doesn't want to be a Trekkie? Come on. Like,
I think there's caveats to everything. It's like, I agree with you, Danielle. I love Star Wars, I love Star Trek, with the following caveats. I don't like 7, 8, 9. Sorry.
Okay.
Don't like 7, 8, 9. They sucked. All right. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I'm there. I love Star Wars. Okay.
Yes.
And Star Trek. Love the original series, Next Generation, Deep Space Nine, Voyager. I can take Starfleet Academy and just drop kick it out the door. I just like, it's so bad.
It's not good. When I saw it, so you know what's funny about that actually? So I, you know, as a Trekkie, I'm all in, right, all the way through, even Deep Space Nine, which you know people have mixed feelings about, right?
Right.
But when I found out about Starfleet Academy through a casting notice. I didn't know they were going to do it, and I saw the notice go up on breakdowns, and I was like, "Oh my god, I need to audition for this! Holy crap, I can be a." Like I just was like, where's my uniform, let's go, like, and then I read the synopsis and I was like, I can't do that. And I was very sad. Like, in some of it's just, I'm also like older than I was when it, you know, 20 years ago it would have been great. I understand why they're doing it. They're trying to build a new generation of Trekkies.
But you don't have to. I mean, that's the whole point. I mean, it's like, even Strange New Worlds is phenomenal. I just love that.
It was really good.
Great series. Yeah. And it's using the old characters just in a new way with good stories, you know. So
yeah, no, that was a really good series actually. I wish more people saw it. That's the only downside of things, like the way the industry has shifted. I find that streaming is a beautiful thing in many ways because it allows the indie industry to explode in its own right, but at the same time it's taken so many things off of like just cable, and nobody has cable anymore, but cable was the way you had your information, and if you waited on a cable show, you made it. Like, it was guaranteed views, X number of millions of people, you know. And now I don't know where anything is anymore. I mean, I probably have like 5 streaming platforms plus cable. Like, I don't even know. But that's the downside. Like, I talk about, Strange New World, and people are like, I don't know what that is. I'm like, no, that's not okay. You don't know what that is. Like,
Yeah, it's really a great series. It really is.
it is. It is.
But you know what it is? I also find that forget the bad shows and stuff. Forget that. I
Okay.
also find that people are just stuck on their stuff,
Yes.
and they they don't want to see the new stuff.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that's what I'm saying. We got to forget the fact that some of these shows suck. But that's one of the issues is that you don't have these older people going to those shows. But at the same time, what ends up happening is, and here's the kicker. These people have been introduced to these worlds through these shows that we think suck.
Mm-hmm.
That's their shows.
Mm-hmm.
That's their entrance. And they look at these shows and they came into whatever as the same way we looked at our shows or our movies when we saw them.
Yes.
And I feel like what ends up happening is that the haters in our department can't fathom that somebody likes this stuff.
I know. But I mean, so here's the thing too, though, and I'll be probably the first to say this. If when I watch Star Trek now, I watch it more for nostalgic reasons than actually being good. Because even though the stories are fun and like the concepts behind them are great, the acting isn't great.
But it's so
the
funny.
The sets aren't great.
It's always been that way.
No, it's always been that way. But like, I feel like with where technology is now, it's like so much more obvious too.
It is.
Like literally Star Trek was basically cardboard boxes. Like, and that's cool. Like, I still dig it, obviously. Like, I'm all for it. I teach my children how to build like rocket ships out of cardboard boxes. But
it's so funny that you're saying that because I forgot what I was watching. It was something on Disney. It's some kind of new sci-fi show that they have, and I had the TV on, and I went into the show, and it's kids. It's like a Power Ranger type show.
Oh goodness, okay.
And I'm passing by, and it catches my attention, so I look at it for a minute, and I'm like looking at the acting, going, what? And I've watched Power Rangers, so I'm
Power Rangers isn't the best either.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But these kids are like all like, and I'm like, okay.
Yeah.
And I'm like, okay. And then I feel like I'm being bad because I'm like, oh, they're just kids. They're learning their craft. But at the same time,
yeah. I mean, as a child, Power Rangers was like towards the end of my childhood, like the original Power Rangers. And so I liked it for the fact that it was cool that they had people fighting on a TV show in that scene, like in a ninja capacity. And like, that was cool. And I definitely wanted to be a Power Ranger, and pretended that I was for a while. But at the same time, at no point in even as a child was like, wow, they're great actors. Like, and I mean, and I was in the bubble. Like, I wasn't necessarily a film and television actor, but I was a dancer and a theater person. And like, I knew acting, and I knew even then that wasn't why it was good, right? Like, it was good for completely different reasons. So I also think there's that. Oh, you know what? It might be Thundermans. That might be what you're watching.
No, it's not Thundermans.
Oh.
But the acting there is kind of weird, but it's not Thundermans.
I only thought of it because my kids watch that too now, and they're like, "Oh, this is cool."
Dinosaurs, and the link that happens with the dinosaurs.
I don't know. Super weird, but
like Power Rangers redone.
Who knows? Like that, So I think it's important that we also look at that stuff for what it is, right? Like, maybe that's not, people are probably not loving it because the acting. They're probably loving it for the other weird sci-fi components.
I definitely, as I was sitting there watching this going, as a kid, I probably would have been like, oh, wow.
Yes, yeah. Because you're connected to the dinosaurs.
Yeah. But it's so funny, though, because I'll watch cartoons now that I used to watch as a kid, and I'm like, why did I watch this?
Oh, see, I'm the opposite. I watch cartoons I watched as a kid, and then I watch the cartoons my kids watch, and I'm like, why are they watching this and not this?
That's a whole other story. I'm gonna say like it's not all the cartoons, folks. There's certain cartoons. Like I was watching Super Friends the other day ago, and my brain was sitting there going, I remember this being way more badass than this. I remember this being much more
it's
animated.
Information overload. Come on, guys. I mean, when we grew up, I mean, when I'm dating myself now, 3 channels. That was it, man. 3 channels, and then usually one was so lame you had 2 channels, and that was it. And,
Yeah,
you can flip around to 600 stations and find something else to watch.
That is true. That is true.
But that's also why there was such a strong fan base.
Yeah, there was. Yeah,
and I think that's
what you could watch.
Yeah, I think it's like a good and a bad thing, right? Like that we have all the choices now. It really spreads everything out. It spreads the viewership out. It spreads the fandom out. And not that long ago, like what, 10 years ago or less even, we only had cable and then YouTube. Yeah. And before that it was just cable, So, yeah, no, I mean, I make my children watch Scooby-Doo.
I love Scooby-Doo.
To be honest with you, I force-fed my kids Gilligan's Island. What was the other one? All the shows from the 60s.
Gilligan's Island, I Dream of Jeannie.
I mean, the best one was my son was in film class in high school, and the teacher says, okay, we're going to show Young Frankenstein now. Right? And then the teacher goes, does anyone know what Frau Brücker means? And my son instantly raises his hand. It means glue factory. And she looked at him and was like, how do you know that?
Yeah.
Like, I've been watching Young Frankenstein for the past 10 years. How would I not know that? It's just, there's so much great stuff that just kids aren't watching that is sad, So,
I was actually having this conversation recently with somebody. And, I was like, dude, I feel like when we were kids, we had this knowledge of all this stuff that came from beyond our years.
Yes.
And, I feel like the generation now doesn't seem to have that anymore. And my friend was like, well, you see, the difference is that before you didn't have as much stuff to watch, like we're just saying right now.
Right.
You only able to watch certain things. I feel like she was saying that now they have all this stuff to watch, and they got to watch their stuff, and then they got to watch that stuff, and most of the times what happens is you stay watching your own stuff.
Yeah, no, it's true. It's true. So when my kids start fighting about what they're gonna watch, that's when I'm like, okay, well, we're gonna watch Mommy's show, and then I like literally put on like Scooby-Doo, but it's like the Scooby-Doo from the 70s,
right?
Because that's what I grew up watching.
Right.
And then every once in a while, they'll be like, Mommy, I think there's a newer one. And I'm like, so? But, and it's true. There's been 1,000,001 different versions that have come out through the years. And some are cool because they've been upgraded in their animation and things like that. But
I love Mystery Inc.
Mystery Inc. is so good. My oldest, he's 7. He said to me the other day, he's like, Mommy, why didn't they finish the show? Because they only did like 7 seasons of Mystery Inc. And he's like, there needs to be one more season, because he's totally bought in on Mystery Inc. now. And he's like, I need to know what happens. I don't know why they didn't. And it was just so awesome to like hear him be like, I want to know what happened. And he needed to know, like it was great. I mean, and I was like, that's it, buddy. That's it. Like, you need to watch shows all the way from start to finish. You need to know what happened. You need to know the characters' names. So,
but that was a sad thing when we were younger, though, is sometimes shows just disappeared off the face of the earth.
Well, it still happens now.
It still happens now, but it was different back then because I feel like that back then, and it's kind of the same now, but at the same time, it's not, because I feel like something would disappear and you never saw it again.
Yes, because now you can at least find it in a like rerun or like somewhere streaming. Yeah. Well, like Firefly, right? Like I'm a huge fan of Firefly. That was only one season, and it should have, and it felt like it was 1,000,000, but it should have been, it was written to keep going, and then it just ended. And now you can watch it, but it's been however many years, and it's just
Firefly animated series.
I haven't seen it.
No, not gonna lie. Yeah, they're working on it.
Oh, I'm like, I haven't seen it.
They got the crew back together.
Do they? Well, I also heard that because of the resurgence of Firefly in general, they're talking about bringing the show back some way, shape, or form.
right now the animated series, but I feel like they're trying to head back in that direction.
Well, it's similar with like Avatar too.
Yeah.
You know, like Last Airbender, not Avatar the but you know, it's a similar bit with that too. We made my husband's into like more of the like anime Japanese kinds of stories and stuff, and because that's what he grew up watching. So we kind of have this like cross pollination of like those kinds of concepts and stories, and my like weird Scooby-Doo-ness. And so it's funny because we get the kids into these things and they're like, wait, what happened to the rest of the show? And I'm like, well, it just ended. Like that was the end. And they're like, no, it can't be. So I'm like, well, I heard they might bring it back. So now they're like waited with bated breath to see if it ever comes back.
That was the same thing with Avatar. They canceled the show before they were supposed to cancel it. So you only got 3 books instead of the 4 books you were supposed to get.
I know. Made me sad.
Yeah.
But yeah, now that we're like all like sad and you know nostalgic about all these TV shows that don't exist.
But see, that's what the big industry like loves, is the fact that we're stuck on this stuff, because then they go, we're gonna give you another version of this stuff.
Oh, I know. I also hate that too. I hate like the million remakes of everything. But you know, I mean, like there's shows that if they ever remake, I will like throw things at the television. You know, like MASH should never be redone. That was MASH. That's the end. It's over. It's done. It was one of the best shows ever. Could be a movie that I wouldn't hate, but the show.
That's usually the remake of the movie. So yeah, that's what I'm thinking. I'm like, are you remaking the movie or are you trying to remake the show?
Yes, but you know, so I'm sure you've heard that they're going to make a Murder, She Wrote movie.
Yeah.
So I am also.
Why?
Yeah, I don't know why. I don't know why, but I'm a Murder, She Wrote fan, and I literally watch that like not since I was a child and always have, and it's my go-to. Like when I don't have anything else to do, that's on in the background, right? I know every story. I know what's going to happen. Yeah. I've seen them 1,000 times. I don't care.
That's me with the original.
Angela Lansbury's place. Why?
Right. So Jamie Lee Curtis is going to play.
Yeah. That's what I heard.
So I'm sad about it. But what I was telling, I know somebody who's involved in the production, and I literally said, why would you try to replace Angela Lansbury with Jamie Lee Curtis? Why couldn't it be yes, fine, bring this story back, but why can't it be like her long lost cousin goes to the house to clean it out and they find her stories and she tells the story? It doesn't have to be JB Fletcher. But they were like, nope, it's going to be. And I'm like, why? Why?
With Matlock, you know, I was like, I heard the show is pretty good, the new one.
It is actually really good.
Yeah.
And it's nothing like the original.
Exactly. It's not Matlock.
Different than the original. That's the whole thing. It's not they're trying to recreate the original Matlock, you know. It's like with Andy Griffith, they're actually created a new series with Kathy Bates. It was awesome.
Yeah. And I think that works, right? Like, but it doesn't, if you're going to take a name like that.
Magnum PI.
Or Hawaii Five-0.
Yeah.
I mean, to try and, I don't touch Hawaii Five-0, Jack Lord. Don't touch it. Leave it alone.
Oh, they did Hawaii Five-0.
I love Hawaii Five-0 from the 60s.
They did a whole new series, Hawaii Five-0.
They did five seasons of a second Hawaii Five-0, and I actually know people. So it's hard. That's the other thing about the business, right? Like, I watched it because I knew actors on it, and I was like, "Yay, go you!" But my heart was breaking a little because it's not the original, and they can't make it be the original. And but they still.
Hawaii 5-0, it felt like a whole different show.
It did, and that's the thing. That has to feel different. The only things that really stay the same, and this is similar to Matlock too, was like the soundtrack is the same.
Oh yeah. Dude, there's a show on right now with a private investigator. I think it's called Decker. I think.
The new one. Yeah. Right. It just came out.
I feel like that feels like more like Magnum PI than the Magnum PI show.
Yes, I agree with you. I've only watched like one episode, but I feel like it's more in the vein of the original Magnum PI with Tom Selleck. And then the one that was just out with whatever his name is. He was. I mean, he's a good actor. He just isn't Magnum. But
Again,
Tom
that
Selleck
was
is,
one of those times where they tried to recapture it instead of making its own show. They tried to recapture.
Correct.
Yeah.
Yes, which I think is why it only stayed on for like 3 seasons. But
also, to be fair, what people wanted was a continuation with Magnum PI because he's still alive. They wanted a continuation to the story, and I feel like that's why that one was doomed. It was because they were looking for a continuation of the story, and there was a treatment out there where Magnum's daughter would have continued the whole thing, and Magnum would have still been in it.
Oh, that would have been interesting. I mean, I think at this point Tom Selleck is probably pretty much done. Just knowing him and his story and having worked with him, and he's a good man, but he's getting up there in age, and it's not easy anymore.
Blue Bloods finished, right?
Yes, Blue Bloods is done. Yeah.
What was it, a year or two ago?
Almost 2 years ago. Yeah.
That's what I thought. Because I know that I was watching and I was thinking the same thing. I was like, Tom's like a little up there. He's still doing Blue Blood.
He is. And I mean, I'll never speak badly of anybody because I'm a firm believer that everyone has good days and bad days.
I agree.
And it's not fair to judge, especially celebrities, on like your one-time encounter with someone.
Exactly.
I was lucky enough to work on Blue Bloods quite a bit off, towards the beginning of the show. And I did get to work with Tom a few times. And my very first impression of him was like not good, actually. It was like a really bad day for him. But I also didn't know his story and like his deal. Right. And I was so mad. I was like, no, you're Magnum PI. You can't be a jerk. Like, no, just no. And then I ended up working with him again, like, a couple of weeks later. Person, and he was just so sweet and kind. And I was like, okay.
See, that's the one I know.
Just had a bad day, right?
Yeah, exactly. And you have to remind yourself of that. But from what I heard, that like towards the end, it was getting physically harder for him to like work.
It definitely. Well, you could see that watching Blue Bloods.
Yeah.
Like, I would watch his scenes, and I'm like, and not that he was acting badly. It's just that you can feel he's
every step was hard.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Yeah, and he's a big man, a really big man. Like you don't think it. I mean, you kind of could see it in Blue Bloods because they purposely, I think, played it up a bit. But he's such a big person that for him to move, he starts moving slower.
That was the same thing. He was much bigger, but with Andre the Giant, like near the end, and he was still pretty young. He was having trouble moving around because that's a lot of weight and body to move around.
Yes, yeah, absolutely. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Aw. Back to the nostalgic.
Oh, definitely. Yeah, I told you folks that we were going to go all around. Yummy's like, I finally got home from TKD class. Nice to see you again, Paul. Nice to meet you, Danielle. It looks like you've got a lot of stuff doing on. If you were to recommend one place to start with your stuff, good question. Where would that be?
In what way? Like with stuff as in like
all the stuff that you do. If you were to tell somebody, well, this is where you would start to check out Danielle.
I would say check me out on Instagram. That kind of gives you a full perspective, I guess, of who I am and
she knows that part, but I think she's trying to figure out the projects you worked on.
Oh, okay. So on IMDb, you can look me up on IMDb, and it gives you a pretty good laundry list of things that I've done in the film and television world. IMDb in the early 2000s wasn't like a super used thing, so a lot of like the stuff I did on Blue Bloods and The Following and that stuff isn't up there because they only put principal actors. I was not that.
Well, in all fairness, IMDb kind of works with the fact that people are plugging this stuff in.
Correct. Yes.
It's not usually them just doing it. And
Correct. Yeah.
so
It's
if somebody
production
hasn't plugged it
people.
in,
Yeah. So early in its early days,
yeah.
production didn't plug in
Oh no,
like
no, I know because
the bits and
you had
bobs
to
and
like get yourself a paid subscription so you can add all the stuff that you needed to add, or add other stuff for other.
correct. Yes, exactly. So, but I will say, the new stuff is all there and a fair amount of the older stuff is there as well. So as far as like seeing all of those things, that's where you would probably see the list.
So, which project would you suggest?
Um, you know, mm, so I would say that City of Honor is a big, and some of that's because it's like forefront of everything at the moment
Mhm.
for me. The City of Honor is a big thing. It's new, it's fresh, it's shot on really beautiful cameras. The cinematographer is amazing. Um, and it's a fresh idea, and the show itself in many ways stands for who I am. I didn't have anything to do with the production side, nothing to do with the writing. I'm a hired actor, but it falls into the bubble of who I am in a way. Like, this show is centered around a metro police force of whatever given city it is. And it shows the sides of having minorities in positions of power. So the main character is Latino. The DA on the show is African American. And then you've got me, that's like the mutt of the group. I'm mixed in all ways, shapes, and forms. And as the ADA, and there's there's another African American as a detective. There's like, the show itself is supposed to encompass the real world that we live in,
Right.
instead of the world that's portrayed on television, as far as like the roles that people actually play. Like, it is more than possible to encounter Latino, African American, any color, any shape, any size, detectives, police officers. Same thing with lawyers. All of us exist. And I don't think that television does a good job representing that. And so this show on its own, that's the whole point of the show in many ways, is to show the real world of what inner city metro police force and government system really does actually look like. So there is a major set of representation on that show. And so I'm honored to be on it. I'm honored to be one of the main characters on it. And to play a woman who has a lot of control and a lot of power. And the show kind of just unfolds. The first episode is out. It's Prime. It's on Apple TV, and it's on Tubi and Fossum. And the second episode is screening in Burlington County, down at the Regal in Burlington on Saturday. And there's still a few tickets left. So if you're around and you want to go hop, skip, and a jump down to Burlington, they're doing like a big premiere thing, red carpet interviews, autographs, photos, all of that stuff. And 90% of the cast will be there. From like the main cast will be there. And yeah, I mean, it's got some really amazing, talented people on it. It has Marcus Taylor from Straight Outta Compton. He plays Suge Knight out of Straight Outta Compton. And Felix Cortez is in it. He's in Cobra Kai. So like, we've got some, heavy hitters on the show, and it's an indie show showing what the real world of a metro, like, police inner working government system actually looks like. Everybody keeps referencing New York Undercover. I don't know if you remember that show,
Oh, I
but
love Undercover,
yeah. But it's like that, but with better cameras. uh, but it's got that, it's grounded, right? It tells real stories. It makes you feel for those people. It's not all pretty and fluffy the way that a lot of other shows are right now. And so it has feet, it has legs, and I'm happy to be on it. I'm honored to be on it. But that's where I would say to start, as far as just like finding me. I mean, I've got a lot of things coming out this year. And that'll be exciting. So you'd have to follow me on socials to figure that out. But I like to post and premiere, and I'm the sneaky person that does the BTS videos. It's like, come outside, ha ha ha. But I also, there's so much still that you have to hide from the whole world, and you guys got a small taste of Hellbound on the Friday the 13th special.
Yeah.
And I can't tell you what happens in that movie, but you got to see one little piece of it. Yeah. So that movie is going to be scary.
Yeah, folks, we'll have her back on to talk about it. Shannon's on the show all the time. We'll have Danielle back on to wax poetically about it. And of course, I've put the link into the comment section so you guys can go check out Danielle at her Instagram, so you guys can get all the beautiful information from her as she does her things.
Yes, I'm always posting.
Yeah, you pop up on my feed a lot, so I'm like, okay, cool. I know where she's going.
Well, okay, so that's the other thing, right? Like, I'm sure, the world probably has figured this out, but I chose to go in this direction on my own, and I don't have representation anymore. And the business is such that you have to stay relevant and public to some degree, right? Like, obviously, there's things. If you know me, I don't post X, Y, and Z. Like, there's certain, like, I very rarely post anything about my kids on purpose. Like, I don't need the world knowing about that. Yes, the world knows I have children, but outside of that, they don't know the rest, right? But so I am having to post and do my own press and do my own publicity.
Yeah.
And that, the drill. That's how we survive, like it's weird. And I've had opportunities where I've auditioned and I've been told I don't have enough followers and I don't get parts over.
That bugs me out. Yeah.
Yeah, it pisses me off too, but it's real. So, that's why I kind of push people towards Instagram, because whether I like it or not, the numbers matter. Thankfully, like in the indie bubble, it doesn't seem to matter as much. Like you generally get the job because you're good. Or like, I shouldn't say you're good. You're right for the part, because you could still be good and just not be right for the part. But as far as mainstream, they actually care. And especially if you're like an unknown person, they're not going to take a chance on an unknown person in a major role, even if they're like good, for a big, mainstream project. So it's tricky. And we have, I sit on a bunch of marketing committees for different projects that I'm associated with. And that's the conversation all the time. Like, what can we do to get influencers to show up to this or to show up to that, so that we can get that extra press bite or whatever. And it sucks that that's how you have to think, but that's the world we live in.
It is, yeah. Especially now, it's always like, which bugs me out, because then you have the companies out there. They go, "F you, influencers."
Well, I mean, to be honest, there's a part of me that's kind of like, yeah, I don't know if I really believe this is a job, but at the same time, obviously it is. Like it's a new thing, and I am learning to figure it out, I guess. I mean, I'm not an influencer, and nor do I want to be, but knowing influencers moves the needle, right? Do you want to be an influencer?
Dude, because it bugs me out, because then they start throwing us, and what we do into that influencer thing. I'm like, yes. I'm not an influencer. I showcase things, but I am not an influencer.
I do believe there's a difference between an influencer and media. Like podcasting to me is like podcast, radio, like the news, like, and I don't want to say that that's all. I guess broadcasting, right? Like to some degree, that kind of fits in a broadcasting bubble. But I think that's all marketing, and that's all important, and it's all relevant. And those, like, I listen to so many podcasts, like when I'm driving from set and stuff, and it's interesting and it's fascinating. And it's just another outlet outside of the radio. But I think it sucks that we all got pushed into a bubble where we have to sort of become these weird influencers.
Oh, definitely, yeah.
And we're not.
It's like, oh, you don't do stuff like other influencers. I'm like, I am not an influencer.
Yes, but I will never say no to somebody who wants to send me like a free pair of sweatpants to test out or something. Like,
That's what
you
we
want
used
me
to do
to you want me
before.
to try on your jumper? Sure, I'll do that.
Influencers. That's what we were doing before. We
Were
just
you?
weren't called the influencers.
Setting the bar a little too low there, Danielle. He should be saying, "Yeah, I'll wear that $30,000 necklace for you, no problem."
Okay, so that Cartier diamond necklace that you want worn on the red carpet, I will happily do that. I have a red carpet on Saturday. Can anyone help me out?
There you go. See, I think Yummy says it here. I feel like an influencer shares themselves while Ralph shares everything he finds.
That's fair. That's fair.
So Paul, I see Yummy's talking to you. So why don't you tell the people all the good stuff? Give them the spiel. Tell them why you're here, co-host.
Well, I'm here co-hosting because I met Raael. It's going on 3 years ago at Garden State Comic Fest, and I was pitching my game then. I'm still pitching it now. It's called Time Enforcers. It's a role-playing video game and digital comic book that makes learning history fun. And it came out of COVID. I just wanted to make the learning history a lot more engaging than what I saw was happening to my kids during the time when they were doing virtual learning. I said there's got to be a better way for kids to get involved and actually want to do things in terms of learning history and have fun doing it. So the game is available in the app stores. Episode 1 is. You can download it for your Mac, your PC, and iOS. I'm currently working on episode 2. This is always meant to be an episodic adventure. I love the old Batman series from the 60s. It's one of my favorite series of all time. And I just was trying to keep it in that vein. So it's like tune in next week, next bat time, next bat channel type thing. And that's how I envision that, Time Enforcers being is going to be like what happens next. And that's what episode two is all about. It's featuring 4 new heroes. We are introducing Amelia Earhart. We're introducing Togo, who ran the Serum Run in 1925 in Alaska. We're introducing Nico Time, who's actually based on the detectives from the 1940s, like Sam Spade and Philip Marlowe. And then we're introducing a new character called Maisie the Mechanic. She's actually a graduate of MIT and Caltech, and she's actually mastered in thermodynamic. No, let's get it straight, Paul. I got so many terms in my head, it goes screwy, but temporal dynamic physics. So she's actually this really whiz-bang scientist who plays as a mechanic for Amelia, but she actually knows what she's doing. So it's really meant to inspire kids, to let them know it's like, yeah, if these people can do it, you can too. And that's where you learn about, how people can do things, is going back to history and finding out what it's all about. And so with Time Enforcers, it's meant to be a wild ride. It's a comic book. I have history as a basis. I really want to, base pretty much all the characters in some sort of historical aspect so kids can learn about it. But it's a comic book, so I like blowing the wheels off the bus and just having fun and doing, fun things with it. And that's where I envision this project going. And it really sucks hanging out with Raph, because I go to these cons and go to Long Island Tabletop. I said, I could do a tabletop game too. Why not? So I'll do that next. So in addition to, the video game, I'm actually doing a tabletop theme now too. And Raphael goes, well, how long is it going to take you? I said, oh no, I just invented it last week. So we should be okay. It's going all right. And I just find it fun. I mean, what I love about it is I'm learning more about history that I didn't learn in school, that I'm learning on my own. And that's what I think is all about discovery and making this an opportunity for kids to have fun discovering new things. And it's getting back to basics. It's, learning the old way. I mean, when I went to learn about history, I had to go to the library and get a book. Now with the internet, you can pretty much find anything you want in an instant. So why don't you have more opportunities to learn about things that happened in the past? And so it's really trying to spark that imagination, the curiosity to want to learn more. And that's what I think is going to make better students and better, people in the long run, is just being more educated and less ignorant. And aside from that, I mean, part of with episode 2, I kind of ran into a problem. A lot of these platforms don't support the same video format. So I'm going to be animating all the artwork for episode 2. So I said, well, if I'm animating the artwork for episode 2, I might as well create a comic book as well. So in addition to the video game, I'm doing the comic book, and I'm doing the tabletop role-playing game. So kind of excited about that, and just love it. It's really a lot of fun. I mean, I see improvements I can make in episode 1, and that's what episode 2 is going to be. It's going to be a great experience. I mean, if you are a video game fanatic like I am, I loved Galaga growing up as a kid. and blowing up aliens flying in space. That's what episode 2 is going to be. It's going to be Amelia Earhart's Vega 6-3D plane, which she converted from her Vega 5B. And she's going to be flying interdimensionally through zones and blowing up aliens in space. It's kind of cool. So I've shown Ralph, the play action on it, and it's really a lot of fun. So
it is, folks.
Really looking forward to that. Should be good.
And like
Yemi that's awesome.
It's only $1.99 on Steam. Come on.
Yeah, pick it up. I see a lot of people looking at it, but not many buys. But that's okay. As long as you're looking at it and people are aware of it, that's all I care about. So
that's really cool.
Yeah, thanks. I just I think with this game, it's going to be, I'm going to say like a grassroots effort, but it's really growing awareness. And I think as more people become aware of it, the more they get interested in it. And that's what really warms my heart when it all is said and done. It's just, if I can get someone turned on to learn about history, that's all that really matters. So.
Do you have a history background?
No, only that, when I went through COVID with my son, being a huge Civil War buff and seeing the experience he went through, I just wanted to take a pencil and stick it in my eye. It was awful. And I said, there's got to be a better way. So that's what really
COVID was bad for learning.
Yeah.
Yeah, COVID was rough. Yeah.
The kids, the educators, they were thrown into a crucible, right? They had no tools, no content, and they expected to learn in a classroom where, most of the kids had their monitors turned off. No collaboration, just sit down and watch a blank screen for 2 hours. That doesn't make sense to me. There's got to be a better way, so.
Yeah. Well, I am a history buff. So I might have to check this out.
Yeah, check it out. I mean, we got I've actually spun this off. I appeared at with my wife at the NJEA last year as well as EdTech Week. Mm-hmm. And the reception was phenomenal. People just saw the benefit to getting back to basics. Everything's like AI now, AI this, AI that.
Yeah.
Feel it is. AI is a tool, and it's not a learning platform. It's a tool, and so you have to use it as a tool. And that's the way I look at this is, providing a platform that's just not using tech, but it's also ingraining those basic skills that kids, I think, it's being overlooked for them. Journaling, doing a journal every day in an actual book that you actually sit down and write with, doing the research on your own to figure out what it is you need to figure out, and then taking that research together and then getting in a group and presenting it. I keep hearing from people, I would rather die than do a public speaking engagement. It's like, why? All public speaking is practice, just getting up and just talking in front of people and not getting nervous about it anymore. So that means a lot of people didn't have the experience of, actually standing in front of a class and showing what your ideas are, and then taking the hopefully constructive criticism to go back and do better things. I mean, you got to have a little tougher skin and realize it's not so bad. And if you make a mistake, you learn from it, just go from there, so it's kind of what I'm trying to do with this whole program, which, is still invigorating for me. I just love working all hours of the night and doing as much as I can and pushing forward as fast as I can with it. So
here we go, folks. We were talking about it. I'll play it through.
Well, this is our Nick video.
The City of Angels, 1947. The war is over, but the streets still feel like they're fighting somewhere.
Cool.
Something sinister. The air is thick with the whiffs from Pan's 24, all-you-can-eat blue plate special, hot asphalt, and bad intentions. Neon signs buzz and flicker, casting purple and green halos into the puddles. Ripples that shift the wrong way, like the streets casting reflections of someone or something that should not belong here. That's where you'll find me, Nick of Time, detective, time enforcer, and the guy they call when history's about to get itself into a knot. Some folks say I'm as tough as a $2 steak, and they're not wrong. But I've got a soft spot for the ones worth saving, the lost souls, the underdogs, the ones who never got their fair shake. I've chased crooks down back alleys, across oceans, and through centuries, and I've learned one thing: time's got teeth. Bite the wrong way, and it'll chew you up quick and spit you right back out. But me, I keep my rules close, my friends closer, and my watch wound tight. Because in this city and in this job, if you're not watching the clock, you're already out of time.
Raael, man, you still give me shivers when I hear that last line. It's so cool. It's so great. I love doing that video. It was really cool.
You did a great job with that, dude. It looks fantastic.
Yeah, I mean, I'm gonna get to the point. Hopefully, I can start premiering more active screenshots. So it's like that's what I'm looking forward to, is rolling this out. Right now, I'm just totally focused on trying to get the comic book done for Garden State Comic Fest in June, and I've got about 10 more pages to do. And it'll be good, but it's gonna be premiering a lot of new concepts for episode 3, and I'm just loving it. It's really a blast. It's so much fun.
I gotta say, I can't wait to see it. You've been showing me bits and pieces of it. It looks really good.
Yeah, it's funny. It's like I'm an artist, but I'm not a comic book artist, and I'm starting to learn comic book art as I go. So my style is starting to change over the course of this book. I'm like,
right.
Like, this looks like two different guys doing this thing. It's so funny, and it's like I'm trying to get it done as fast as I can. And it's just like, wow. I'm either drawing quicker or I'm just doing things differently. I don't know what it is, but the panels are starting to look much different than they were like even 2 months ago. It's so funny.
Well, and there is part of your origin story when, like, in 10 years, when people are loving it and going, well, it's got to be like this. Now we know why.
They're like, how did you first start doing comics? Well, you see.
I just sat down and did it.
Hey, that's the theme of today's show, folks.
Yes.
Take a stab, try it. What the heck? You throw it against, it's like The Odd Couple. Throw it against the wall. If the spaghetti sticks, it's done. So you're good.
Folks, I hope you love today's show. Check out Danielle where she is. Check out Paul where he is. And of course, you are here at Apple Bites. Check us out every week on Mondays at 7:30 p.m. Eastern Time and Wednesday at 10:30 p.m. Eastern Time for the Written Writ. And this Wednesday, we will have the guys from Avita Comics, and DM Ray will hang out with us and be guest host. So why don't you join us on Wednesday at 10:30 p.m. Eastern Time and roll for initiative. With that, I will do what happens on this show, and I press which button is it? Oh, this button right here. Go buy Time and Forces. What do you